Have you ever been sitting right next to the person you love but felt like they were 1,000 miles away? You ask a simple question, and the answer you get back feels like a cold, solid wall. It's not just in your head, it's in the words. When she starts saying nothing, way more than she ever did before, that's when you really feel it in your gut. It's not just the word itself, it's how she says it. Her voice gets flat or a little sharp, and her eyes don't meet yours the same way. You ask, "Hey babe, everything okay?" And she answers nothing, but you can literally feel the wall go up between you two. Before, when she said nothing, it usually meant she was tired or just zoning out, and she'd still lean into you or give you that little half smile that says she's still here with you. Now it's different. That nothing feels heavy, like she's guarding something she doesn't want you to touch. What matters is the pattern and the feeling behind it. When these words show up constantly, paired with distance, secrecy, defensiveness, and less emotional warmth, it usually points to a relationship that's losing connection and honesty. That's the real issue to focus on, the shift in closeness, respect, and transparency. So instead of turning this into a game of accusations or trying to catch someone, bring it back to a simple, mature conversation. Say what you're noticing, say how it's affecting you, and ask for clarity. A partner who still values the relationship will meet you with openness, not shutdowns and blame. And if they won't, then the truth you need might not come from spying or guessing. It comes from how they consistently show up, how they communicate, and whether they're willing to rebuild trust with you. That repeated nothing is her way of protecting the space she's already giving to someone else. She's not ready to admit anything, not even to herself sometimes, so she hides behind the smallest word she can find. And the crazy thing is, the more she says it, the more you stop asking. That's exactly what she wants right now. For you to stop noticing that she's already halfway gone. We all know what it feels like to have a truly hectic day. Life hits hard with work deadlines, family drama, or just a never-ending to-do list. But when busy becomes her constant default setting with you, something has shifted. It's not the kind of busy where she's venting about her stress to you. It's the kind where she uses the word like a shield to keep you at a distance. Think about how she used to talk. She'd tell you about the annoying project or the coworker who wouldn't stop talking. Now she just drops the word busy and leaves it there. There's no story behind it. There's no, "I'm so sorry, I wish I could have called." It's just a flat, cold statement designed to end the conversation before it even starts. The reality is that people make time for what they value. If someone is into you, they'll find 5 minutes to text or an hour to see you, no matter how packed their schedule is. They want that connection to decompress. When she's seeing someone else, her mental and emotional energy is being poured into that new person. You're getting the leftovers, and busy is the easiest way to justify why those leftovers are so small. You'll notice she's busy specifically when you try to make plans or have a real conversation. It's a convenient way to dodge intimacy. If you ask what she did all day, she stays vague. She's busy with stuff or work things. It creates this fog where you can't really see what her life looks like anymore. It hurts because you can sense the difference between someone who is genuinely overwhelmed and someone who is just unavailable. A stressed partner still wants your support and presence. A partner who is elsewhere uses the excuse of being busy to make sure you stay out of her way. It's a way of slowly phasing you out of her daily reality without having to say the hard words out loud. Think back to how she used to talk about her day. She'd mention names you knew, like Sarah from the office or her old college buddy Mike, but suddenly those specific names start to disappear. They get replaced by this one generic, vague word, friend. It sounds perfectly normal on the surface because we all have friends, but the way she uses it now feels different. It's like a label used to hide a face. In a healthy, open relationship, you usually hear the stories behind the people. You know what they talked about or what they did together. Now, when she's out late or texting someone, it's just a friend. There are no details, no funny anecdotes, and no context. If you ask a simple, curious question like, "Which friend was it?" or "How do I know them?" she might get a little tense or give you a short one-word answer. The word starts to feel like a placeholder for someone she doesn't want you to visualize. It's a psychological trick people use when they're hiding something. By using a technically true word like friend, they feel less like they are lying to your face. It keeps the other person's identity blurry and out of reach so you don't start connecting any dots. You might notice she gets defensive if you stay curious. She might snap back with something like, "I'm allowed to have friends," which turns a normal conversation into a conflict. When friend becomes the most common name in her vocabulary, but that person has no history and no clear place in her life that you can actually see. It's often because she's trying to keep two worlds from colliding. That vagueness is a shield. When you bring up something that feels off to you and she immediately flips it back on you with, "You're overreacting," that's when the conversation stops being about the issue and starts being about your supposedly broken perception. It's one of the most frustrating tactics because it makes you question yourself instead of her behavior. You might notice she came home later than usual without explanation, or she's been glued to her phone in a way that feels secretive. You bring it up calmly, just trying to understand, and instead of reassuring you or explaining, she goes straight to, "Why are you being so dramatic?" or "You're totally overreacting right now." This word choice is a deflection technique. It shifts the spotlight off her actions and onto your emotions. Suddenly, you're the one who has to defend why you feel the way you do. You're the problem for noticing. You're insecure, paranoid, or controlling just for asking a fair question. What makes it worse is that she might even bring up past moments to reinforce this narrative. "You always do this," or "You never trust me." Now, you're not just overreacting today, you're someone with a pattern of being unreasonable. It creates this fog of self doubt where you start thinking maybe you really are imagining things. But here's the reality: when someone has nothing to hide, they don't get defensive like that. They answer your questions openly because they want you to feel secure. They reassure you with honesty, not attacks. A partner who cares doesn't gaslight you into thinking your gut feelings are irrational. If overreacting becomes her go-to response every time you try to address distance or changes in the relationship, she's training you to stop asking questions. She's conditioning you to ignore your instincts because acknowledging them would mean she'd have to face what she's actually doing. When whatever starts slipping out of her mouth every single day, it's like the temperature in the room drops 10 degrees, even though nothing dramatic just happened. You suggest a plan for the weekend and she shrugs, "Whatever." You ask if she wants Italian or sushi tonight, and it's a quiet, "Whatever, you pick." You try to talk about something that bothered you, and she just looks away and says, "Whatever," like the fight inside her has already packed its bags and left. It's not anger. It's worse than anger. Anger means she still cares enough to feel something. Whatever means she's already emotionally somewhere else, and the version of her that's still sitting next to you is just going through the motions. You can feel it in the silence after she says it. There's no warmth, no curiosity, no playful pushback like there used to be. Before, even when you two disagreed, there was energy between you. Now there's this dead air. That one word kills every conversation before it can breathe. She might say it softly, almost sweetly, but it still cuts deep because it's the sound of someone who has stopped investing. She's not trying to fix things, not trying to connect, not even trying to argue anymore. She's just done caring about the outcome with you. And the hardest part is watching yourself start to match her energy. You stop suggesting plans, you stop asking questions, you start saying whatever back. That's when you know the relationship isn't dying with a bang. It's quietly suffocating in the space between two people who used to fight for each other and now just say whatever instead. Suddenly she starts talking about needing space and privacy in ways that never came up before in your relationship. It's like overnight she discovered this whole new vocabulary about boundaries that feels more like walls than healthy limits. You've been together for months or years, and she never had an issue with you knowing her phone passcode. Now she changes it and acts like you're invading her personal rights when you even glance at her screen. She'll say things like, "I need my own space," or "Everyone deserves privacy," as if you've been suffocating her, when really nothing about your behavior has changed at all. The bathroom door that used to stay open while she brushed her teeth is now locked. Her phone that used to sit face up on the table is now always face down or in her pocket. She takes calls in the other room, and when you walk in, she quickly ends the conversation or switches topics. She might start using phrases like, "You don't need to know everything about my day," or "I'm entitled to have things just for me." These statements aren't wrong on their own, but they're new. They're different from how she used to share her world with you so openly. When you express confusion about this shift, she makes it sound like you're being controlling. "Why do you need to know where I am every second?" she might ask, even though you just asked a normal question like, "How was lunch?" This new boundary language is her way of creating compartments in her life. She needs these walls because she's trying to keep two different worlds from touching. The privacy she's suddenly so passionate about protecting isn't about personal growth or independence. It's about keeping you from seeing what she doesn't want you to see. You start noticing she doesn't ask how your day was anymore. Like, really ask, not the automatic, "How was work?" while she's scrolling on her phone. The real kind of asking where she used to look at you and actually wait for your answer, her face softening because she genuinely wanted to know what was going on inside your head. Now, when you talk about something that matters to you, she gives these short responses. That's cool, or okay, or just a nod while looking somewhere else. The warmth that used to be in her voice when she talked to you has faded into something flat and polite, like she's talking to a coworker she barely knows. Remember how she used to light up when you walked through the door? That little spark in her eyes, the way she'd put everything down to come hug you? That's gone. She might smile, but it's the kind of smile that doesn't reach her eyes. It's mechanical. She's physically present but emotionally checked out. Even during intimate moments, there's this distance. She's there with you, but she's not really there. The little things she used to say, the sweet nothings, the inside jokes, the way she'd touch your face when she looked at you. All of that has quietly disappeared. Her words have become careful and surface level. She doesn't share her dreams anymore. She doesn't talk about the future with you in it. When you try to go deeper, she changes the subject or gives short answers that close the door on real connection. It's like watching someone slowly fade from color to grayscale right in front of you. The emotional availability that used to flow so freely between you two has dried up, and what's left is this hollow version of the person who once couldn't get enough of talking to you, touching you, being with you. If there's one thing to take from all of this, it's that words like nothing, busy, friend, overreacting, whatever, and the sudden push for extra privacy don't prove anything by themselves. People get stressed, depressed, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained, and that can change how they talk.
What matters is the pattern and the feeling behind it. When these words show up constantly, paired with distance, secrecy, defensiveness, and less emotional warmth, it usually points to a relationship that's losing connection and honesty. That's the real issue to focus on, the shift in closeness, respect, and transparency. So instead of turning this into a game of accusations or trying to catch someone, bring it back to a simple, mature conversation. Say what you're noticing, say how it's affecting you, and ask for clarity. A partner who still values the relationship will meet you with openness, not shutdowns and blame. And if they won't, then the truth you need might not come from spying or guessing. It comes from how they consistently show up, how they communicate, and whether they're willing to rebuild trust with you.